Every now and then you might come across videos and anything like that which will tell you how to handle your anger, how to not have anger issues, how to make sure nobody's ever going to make you angry ever again. But they kind of all seem inconclusive. I've seen many of those as ads on different social media and as such, but it's like they're always never inconclusive. So I thought, why not share a bit of what I personally did with this regard. See, in the end, anger is first and foremost, one has to comprehend it is a reaction to something. Reaction means you're a bit ignorant to the problem. In order to handle something, you need to make it in such a way that you take it consciously into account. If something would anger you, first and foremost, you will fail. You have to comprehend if you've made yourself used to constantly reacting to something, you will fail in case you want to no longer react to that. You have gotten yourself used, behaviorally speaking, psychologically speaking, you have gotten used to this idea of, reacting always to something. Something angers you, you give energy to it. So, first and foremost, this realization is paramount because once you realize that you have been training yourself in the wrong way, one can start slowly and surely to program themselves the opposite way. See, anger means you have a certain expectation that something goes in a certain way and it doesn't. And then you simply explode because you're probably thinking that you can control everything and that everything is, in a way, bound to happen your way. Because of frustrations and feeling useless, you may end up thinking that things must be like this, things must be like that. They always must end one way or another by your way, right? We can see this everywhere in the world. So many people want things to be by their design, by their thoughts, by their principles, but not by anyone else, right? It's like they themselves exist in the world and not everyone else, right? This is an aspect of ignorance. And well, people become more ignorant the more they invest into their own pains, sufferings, and the such. Well, explaining how to handle, not control, how to handle anger can take a very long time. So, to put it as short as possible, comprehending the idea that there is always an expectation that hurts you, that annoys you, that makes you react to something. See, an expectation is something that you invest into because you have a conviction, right? It's not just a belief, right? A belief is accepting something without a necessity for proof. But when you have a conviction towards something, that is a different thing because the conviction means a very powerful belief. Yes, still a belief, but it is very powerful. It is, very trained. Your mind is very trained in that direction. It's no longer questioning its existence, its authority over yourself, right? How much energy you give to it, nor is it questioning the validity of that. Because, as I said, and otherwise voices also said, the point is belief is accepting something without the necessity for proof, right? That is why when a good friend tells you something, do you, invalidate that, right? They're a good friend. Definitely they won't lie to you, right? Now, definitely not the best example, but still one nonetheless. Now, when those expectations become more and more ingrained in your mind, you end up functioning by those, you accept those as reality, so definitely you're not going to question them anymore. When you feel abandoned, when you feel that everything is a failure in your life, and society kind of has a weird way of planting these thoughts into your mind, be it through your own ancestral karma, parents, bad environment, right? And bad behaviors in people, we kind of end up absorbing those and living by those as if life cannot be any other way. So, with these being said, all of these negative impacts on us might make us be a bit more controlling than ever. And forget that in life you must always focus on that which you can control. The only thing you can control is how you act toward things. Many people say you can control your emotions. No, you cannot control your emotions. This is something people have to comprehend, right? Emotions are something that happen. They are energy in motion, as people say. They are not something that you control. When your mind functions in a certain way, your emotions will be let's say, an indicator of that, right? If you say something is bad, obviously your whole body, the whole life in your physical body will act towards that, right? Let's say actually will react because your physical body has a certain amount of layers that function, right? And when we speak about the mind is that which gives the directions, right? They say your life is energy. Well, your life indeed is an energy because you have energy for each day. You have life energy within you, you have emotional energy, you have mind energy. That is why when you're tired, what do you say? Right? You want to play a game and, well, things don't go too well, what do you say? I don't have enough brain juice for that, right? You don't have enough mental energy for that. It's not that you suddenly became stupid at the game or you suddenly forgot how to play the game. It's just that, the brain is a bit too overworked or, well, whatever other reason, you simply cannot. So the simple point is one has to comprehend in the way the mind functions. You have something called, um, how to put it? See, first time you see something, you cognize it, right? You observe it, you notice it, and then it becomes part of your knowledge, right? So if it is something you've never met before, it is called cognition, yes, because you add it into your database, now you know it, right? When something happens and you know it, it is already in your database, right? And you know how to handle it in a way. It is recognition, right? That's why you call it recognize, yes, because you're handling something that's already in your brain. It's already there, ingrained, yes. You've met that situation before, that person, whatever the stimulus or the set of stimuli, right, that would trigger you. These two layers of your existence you cannot simply control. They are way faster than any reflex you can have. Beyond this, beyond these two layers is said to be the emotional level, right? When those two trigger, either of those, either cognition or recognition, emotion will also trigger as well. Because emotion is how the life energy within you, let's say, reacts to that. Let's say you have a certain stimulus, right? And the stimulus says, be afraid, right? Let's say a robbery happens and you're in the environment. It is dangerous, right? The emotions within you, right, will trigger. They will trigger fear, whether it is the first time you have experienced it, whether it is something you've experienced before, or whether the experience from movies, let's say, or video games or the such kicked in and acted as if you've had a previously real experience, like in real life, not in a virtual environment, well, the result will always be fear, right? That is the emotion. Now, beyond this emotion, right, you will feel probably shivers down your spine. Why do you feel that? Because the emotion or how the physical body felt, it felt threatened, right? And the reaction was so powerful that those chills around your spine that you feel, they are a real sensation. They're not something that you are imagining, right? Water in your body is actually freezing, yes? It's not going to fully freeze, yes, but a bit of it actually tends to do just that. That's why you feel those so-called chills down your spine, right? Because if you scare someone so much, they can get, what do you call it? They can feel frozen, right? Because not only the water freezes, the energy within it, yes, the emotion or the energy in motion, right? Water is called a living organism and it reacts, right? You've seen those experiments with people speaking positive things and negative things to water and it changes its shape in a way based on that. It takes a lot of days as of what I heard, but it is a valid experiment. I think I forgot the name of the Japanese scientist who also invested a lot of time into this. So you have to comprehend that beyond those three layers, there is the fourth layer of your existence, which is called your ability to respond. Yes, English calls it responsibility because it's basically two words slapped together like sometimes English tends to. And then there's that, right? Your ability to respond. So something happens, your sensors perceive it, your body perceives it, your energy reacts to it. Yes, it is a reaction. You don't have any response, any capacity to change that, but you have the power to decide whether you respond and you accept the fear as your response or you try to keep your calm. Neither of those probably will save you, but you have the choice. you give in to fear and probably you become erratic, or you somewhat keep your calm and maybe things will go much better, right? In any dangerous situation, how you react, well, that is the only thing you can control. Just like in real life, you can control your emotions in a way like act by them, because in the end they are a guidance. Act by them or not act by them. The only way you can control, let's say, emotions is by giving in to them, right? So anger is a similar situation. Something angers you because it is not going your way, yes? And this comes from an obsession to control. When you can't control things, obviously you're gonna feel pissed, right? You're gonna feel fumigating, like churning earth, like a volcano about to blow, right? You're gonna blow your stack, right? But the point is, well, it's not good. How anger happens is, well, something doesn't make you feel good, yes? So you've programmed yourself, when something doesn't make you feel good, what do? You've programmed yourself to invest into that anger, right? Now the problem is, sooner or later you have realized that, hey, that's not a good thing. Anger can be destructive, it can cause a lot of pain to others, it causes a lot of pain to you, right? And at the same time there can be bad repercussions. So now you bumped into a huge other problem, right? You have started repressing the anger, but it doesn't work. Why? Because you've already programmed your life to function like that. See, every decision that you make in your mind, your energies, your life, the life within you, the life that you are, will simply follow. Because you will say in your mind, this is this, right? This is something, right? It is a belief, even a conviction. Well, life will follow that because life doesn't have any discernment. It just follows your mind. What you train your mind to do, well, that is what it will follow. A lot of people end up calling themselves bad names and this and that and pulling themselves down. And, well, even their attention will focus on that. 1,000 people will tell you that you're good, you're such a genius. One in the crowd will say that you suck. Obviously, your attention will focus on that one who says that you suck, right? That is why always your reality will feel as if it is a reflection of what you think. Because in a way it is true. You are focusing a bit on something, and if it becomes your programming, your entire system will function in such a way to simply reinforce that. So you've been reinforcing the idea to act in an angry way when things don't go your own way. You've realized that that is not a good thing. What happens next? You repress it. You're not gonna repress a programming without repercussions. What happens? Well, you're saying something happens, you're getting angry, and you're suddenly denying it, right? But the mind in the background, in the subconscious, will keep pumping your life energy, right? The energy, the limited energy that you have for that day, into the anger. You're no longer feeling it, so you're saying the problem has passed, but the anger is still steaming up without you knowing. That is why a lot of people simply explode violently sooner or later, right? And at times you may actually end up being the one in the wrong place, right? You've not said anything, you've not done anything, or you've said something innocent probably, and the person simply explodes. So my point on this was to simply comprehend each of these layers. First and foremost, I have full control over I have, let's not say full control, because I'm not perfect, but I can simply take into account most situations and decide that I am not going to get angered by that. Because I take my time to observe situations, and believe me, just like in some people's situations in this world, I have been through a lot of things, and people who deliberately thought to just piss me off because, well, they were pissed off, and miserable people love imposing upon you what they feel, right? Most people also fail emotionally because there's little to no challenge in their life. A challenge is something that breaks you. Yes, it makes you think a lot of your beliefs, right? Not something that you call hard, because a lot of people will call something hard, right? When you feel like procrastinating, even waking up from your bed is hard, but that's not necessarily a challenge. If you are devastated by emotions, by crippling levels of depression, like, well, I've been for like 15 years at least, like that, and well, other people also, obviously, not me. I just present myself as an example because, well, I'm talking about a bit about my story in a way. Other people also experience that. Well, that is a different case. So when it comes to comprehending this idea, it didn't take me too much, just many years, because obviously nobody is there in your life to tell you how to actually make use of your emotions, how to actually make use of your body. So the intuition guided me slowly and surely, and very few things actually anger me. I may still shout and scream at times, but that is something different. It is not anger necessarily. See, the very simple point is you have to learn how to dismantle the two big problems that humans have with anger. First and foremost, the obsession to control, which leads you to getting angry when things don't end up your way, right? You don't have to control things or people because they are completely different from you. They are naturally beyond your control. You can be manipulative, yes, but still, people have their own awareness, people have their own discernment as well. Maybe they are slavish by design and they will listen to you because it's much easier to listen to others and do what others tell you than actually take the responsibility to do things. But people come and people go in your life. What happens when those people who were either pretending to follow you or following you for their own convenience, not yours, and you are also benefiting from that? What happens when those people leave you and well, you have to start all over and start manipulating other people or whatever else? You get pissed, right? So, first and foremost, understand the fact that you are the one creating the anger within. You are the one who invests your energy in. Plus, you're allowing other people or stimuli from outside to constantly repeat themselves in. You're literally giving them a free space in your mind, and that's not something too wise. So, if we are to move past this one, then there is the other problem, which is suddenly trying to block that, right? Because you've realized it can cause you harm, it can cause you damage, it can cause damage to others, there are repercussions. Now, suddenly you want to repress it. No, you simply don't repress it. You simply take the time, you let it try to build, and then you simply not invest into it. This is the trickiest part. There is literally no course on how to accomplish this. This is something that you have to realize yourself. You have to go out in nature. You have to learn how to breathe. You have to learn how to live life a bit. Be in nature and just let your thoughts flow. Obviously, you'll fail. You'll still try to attach yourself emotionally to that, judge that, or do that. Because it is natural. You have been functioning by that for years upon years, so don't judge yourself badly if you suddenly can't change that, right? If you change the course of a river, it will flow on the new course. But changing its course again, either to the previous one or to a newer one, obviously will take its time. So take your time with yourself and be gentle. Learn a bit and practice a bit when you feel like it, right? Do a bit now, do a bit later, slowly and surely, right? 5 seconds now, maybe. Just sit. Just sit. Let the thoughts flow through your mind. Try to reach 20 seconds, maybe 25, 30. You've only done 20. Well, it's okay. It's good. Then you can try again some other time. You're not going to have probably too much time or too much willingness to do that because remember, you have trained your energies to function by a certain pattern and they will faithfully keep to that. It's going to be almost impossible to change your behaviors, right? Your patterns. You may already know that, right? So, understanding anger, it slowly builds, and the point is, you are putting way more energy into it than you should. Then, by blocking it, right, by negating it, suppressing it, will only amplify it because in the mind there is no such thing as stopping. The mind is an eternal designer. Yes, it is a engine of ingenuity, how I call it. It always creates based on what you put in. So if you program it to react violently at everything, obviously it will do that. It will reinforce it. It will invest all its energies into that. So you have to simply pull down all of those things, yes, all of those programmings, and push the new energies or your same energies into a different direction, that of simply taking your time. Why is that thing annoying you? Always ask yourself questions. Ask yourself questions. You're not going to receive the answers soon. It might take years, as it's been in my case, maybe decades in the case of other people, right? I may call myself lucky for realizing certain things pretty quickly. because I've rarely had any voice, any wise voice to actually tell me stuff. I only learned a few things from YouTube. Most of that's, well, my intuition guided me sooner or later. Am I special? Well, everyone is special in life. Everyone is unique. But the only difference is how much you invest into your uniqueness. Because the whole world wants you to be in one way, right? Anyone else's way, but not yours, right? So, in this world, you have to comprehend that anger is, in a way, important. It reminds you that you are alive. It reminds you that you don't like certain things. Now, what happens if you become calm, right? Like I am in most situations. Well, when you become calm, you have to comprehend you still have a subconscious aspect going on within you that still invests some energy into anger. It doesn't invest as much, but the point is it still goes on in the background. And that is something that I've been blind to for a long time. So the point is, sometimes when you are alone, preferably fully alone, and there are no people around you, even people that you trust, talk alone. Yes, psychology says this is wrong because humans don't want to express their own emotions, because through their traumatic childhoods, they end up thinking that their emotions are their enemies. No, your emotions are not your enemies. You have to comprehend you are accumulating anger from other people just by staying close to them. Energy is contagious, they say. You are creating anger within you every time you silence your voice. Every time you want to do something, you're already investing into your anger and you're suppressing that. Yes? So you're still investing into anger in a smolder rather than a raging fire. But a smolder is still a smolder, right? It still causes pain. It still causes a lot of things on the background. That is very dangerous in the end, because the more it accumulates, suddenly it will burst out and you will have no control over it. That is why always express your anger when you are alone. Shout, scream if you need to, cry, whatever way you feel like it, right? Imagine that you're harming those people, right? You don't need to invest emotionally into those, but just do those things and express your anger in that way rather than shouting at people who already don't care about you. It's useless to shout at people whose single purpose is to see you angry, right? That's how narcissists proliferate. That's how narcissists and, antisocial people, damaged goods, damaged people, and the such. That's how they act. They want to see you angry, right? So it's no use to do that. Just let them say whatever they will. It's just some sounds that they utter, right? If you learn how to pull out the meaning of what people say, well, the energy behind that is still negative and it is addressed to you most likely. Because someone is swearing at you, you comprehend the words but not the harmful energy. You will deal with the harmful energy in a different way. The moment you simply tell yourself, why do I need to get angry that someone's cursing me or my mom or my friends or something? It is their problem. They have a problem in their mind and they're just pointing me as the problem instead. Maybe I am the problem a bit, but simply letting them shout at me and not doing anything is not going to fix the problem. I can fix part of the problem by not reacting to them. And they will simply stop. They'll probably become even more angry now that they can no longer control you, right? They might try to physically push you. You just stare them in the eyes. You show them that the game's over. It's no longer, it's no longer affecting you. They've already lost the control over you. So, they will move on to other people. If you need to physically defend yourself, do so, obviously. But the point is, you will teach those people that they no longer have control over you. So they will go somewhere else. Now the point is, you realizing that everything that people scream at you is just their frustrations. You don't need to take those frustrations upon you. Unconsciously, you will take a part of those. So that is why going in nature, staying by yourself is always a good thing. Taking a good shower after someone has tried to anger you is also good. Water can also heal you. Going to a campfire can also help because the fire also heals a bit of your aura. Yes? Going to a place where it's windy and wearing light clothes can also be a good thing because the wind also cures a bit of your auric field. That's why you might have some sensations that you're actually releasing something, right? There are so many things that humans do not comprehend. Humans have not been told because, well, they might start realizing that life is much better, right? Life would be much better if they realize how to cure themselves. Because the more you keep these dense feelings within you, the easier you become unhealthy, right? And the more the pharmaceutical system will proliferate out of that, right? They thrive when you are sick. That's why they keep the whole society sick and ignorant. Because otherwise, a society will wake up and realize we don't need these unelected fuckers, right? So hopefully this video raised a bit of awareness and whether people were wondering if I stopped creating videos or not. I just needed a few days for myself. I just needed to take some steam off, to go through some difficult emotions maybe and such, and to sift through some of the things and actually take a break. I've been functioning like a machine, constantly thinking and overthinking things for too long, and sometimes you need to tone things down a little. You can never stop the brain. It will only stop when one passes away. But you can simply let it produce and stop investing energetically, emotionally into what it produces, because it will only recreate those things which you fed it with. What you've put into your mind, that is the only thing the mind can create and overcreate and such, right? That's why a lot of people feel like constantly going through their dramas again and again, right? A lack of emotion, coupled with the fact that that is what they train their mind to do. It's their problem. Your only power in life is how you make use of your energies, not necessarily control them, right? So, these being said, take care, enjoy life, and these being said, Ferenc Board signing out.